What's up, guys? Thanks for clicking on this video. Today I'm going to be addressing Americans and giving reasons why Americans should love soccer. Now I'm going to call it soccer during this video because I am speaking to my fellow Americans. I am an American. I'm proud to be an American. My grandfather, he served our country in the Navy, and so I'm American through and through. Red, white, and blue, all the way. I definitely am an American, and I love my country. But I also have found a love for the sport that most of my fellow Americans have trivialized and mocked, at least for most of my life growing up. It seems like maybe the tide is changing, and hopefully I can be a part of changing that tide. And I love American football. So that's my first point. If you're an American watching this video, you don't have to stop loving American football in order to appreciate another sport like soccer. I still coach American football in high school. I'm still a fan of the Dallas Cowboys, no matter how much they betray me and how much they hurt me. Still a fan. You can still support your team here while also noticing that the sport of soccer, like we call it, is a beautiful game. And let me give you some reasons why I think you would enjoy watching soccer. There are some amazing displays of athleticism. Now, as Americans, we love to watch sports where the athletes are larger than life. I'm thinking of Michael Jordan flying through the air, just sort of floating in the air from the free throw line as he slam dunks the ball. Like, we love over-the-top feats of athleticism. Think of Calvin Johnson when he played for the Detroit Lions, and he'd be going up to pinpoint a ball way up in the air and catch the ball. Or you just think of the most Randy Moss kind of plays that we see in our sports, and we love that kind of over-the-top athleticism. Well, you have that in soccer. Well, let's talk about Cristiano Ronaldo. Seeing how high he jumped in the air to head a ball in. Like, it's insane, the athleticism that we see on display from footballers or soccer players. But beyond the athleticism of some of these players, the thing that I love the most about the sport, and why I think you probably would enjoy the sport as well, is the fluidity of the game. It never stops. It never stops. We don't stop for 20 seconds after each play. Now, I understand in American football, as one who played the game and as one who coaches the game, I understand why we stop and why we break. A lot of my subscribers on this channel, they probably don't understand why we need the break in between plays. It's so that we can set up the tactics for the next play, because our game is very, very tactical, and we're running set pieces every time we run a play. And football or soccer is not so, it is very tactical, but it is not in the same way that our sport is. Not everything is a set up play. There's a lot of ad-libbing that goes on. There's a lot of improvisation. There's a lot of having to change on the fly, and a lot of reacting to what the other team does. And there is tactics going on, but for the most part, it's a very fluid game. The ball like sort of advances up the pitch, and it changes direction, and players will often interrupt the tactic of the other team, and so the teams have to work as a cohesive unit in order to overcome the challenges that they see from their opponents. And so the game is so fluid, and it's constantly moving, and something about that really is beautiful. The game is not clunky. It's not clogged up by all of the stoppage. I remember watching a game in the NFL last year wherein we had one play got run, and there was injury on the play, so we had to go to a commercial break. And once we come back from the commercial break, they ran another play, and there was a penalty on that play, which then backs you up, and you have to run the play again. Well, they run the play again, and there's an injury on that next play, so they go back to another commercial break. And when they come back from that commercial break, there is a penalty on the next play, and they have to run the play again. And so for a very real 10 minutes of my life, I got to see a grand total of 2 plays being run. And that's frustrating, and I still love the sport. That's not normal, but that can happen in our sport. And so that kind of frustrated me of how clunky the game is and how dependent our game is on advertising and commercials. With soccer or football, you don't get that. You get 45 minutes per half uninterrupted, and during halftime, they'll have a commercial break. Then you get to watch the advertisements. But as Americans, we don't love advertisements. We don't love commercials. We just sort of accept them, right? Because we want the entertainment. So we just sort of accept the ad breaks, and we just sort of accept the commercial breaks. Well, in football, you don't get that. In football, or soccer, you don't get that. You get uninterrupted play and a fluid game without stoppages. That's what I love about the sport. Another reason why I think Americans should love the sport is the rest of the world loves the sport. I know it's a very simple thing. I'm not saying that we have to love everything that everybody else loves, but the rest of the world plays the sport. The rest of the world takes the sport extremely seriously. And so I know as Americans, we love to be perceived as dominant. We love for everyone to know our name. We love our country. And so do I. Like I said, I bleed red, white, and blue. My family, my father-in-law, he serves as a chaplain in the army right now. And my grandfather was in the Navy. I love our nation. I love our country. But I also want our country to be perceived as good at the sport. And right now, we're kind of a joke. Now, we're getting better. We're getting better. But for a long time, we're kind of a joke on the world stage when it comes to this beautiful sport. And so that's one reason why I think Americans should get involved in the sport. Because who wants to live in a country where we don't take the worldwide most popular sport seriously, and when we do, we kind of stink at it. And the last reason that I think that you should love the sport of football is the drama of the sport. Right now, as we come to the end of the league system, as we come to the end of the season, we're seeing teams fight and claw to win their league. And we're also seeing teams who are a step away from being relegated or kicked out of the top league into the league below, into the minor league underneath. We're seeing those teams have to fight, have to scrap, have to claw to try to make sure that their club stays above that relegation line and doesn't get demoted to the league underneath them. So it's drama right now. There are teams who are going to end up losing their spot in the top league. So a misstep, a mistake, a missed tackle, a missed shot, any kind of missed opportunity could actually mean the difference between a team staying in the top league and being demoted, and an entire fan base. The pressure is on right now, so there's drama in the league. These are just some of the reasons why I think that you as an American, as a fellow American, would love the sport of football, or soccer as we call it. And I think that we should take it seriously. These are my reasons. Tell me what you think about them in the comment section down below. If you like my content, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Smash the like button because it does definitely help me out on the algorithm. And I'll see you guys in the next video.